guys, welcome all of you to our YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about one of invaluable gifts from our Mother Nature. Guess what? That's corals where the beauty of the ocean lies. So, let's start.
First of all, let's see how these coral reefs are formed. Coral reefs are very larger in size and they are formed by the collection of coral colonies which are formed by the accumulation of large number of coral polyps. By the time various types of algae and marine plants grow there and those type of coral reefs become a habitat for large number of marine organisms. Then what are these coral polyps? These are organisms and they are smaller in size, they are invertebrates. They are also soft-bodied organisms and they are transparent. They are one of the two forms that Nidarians divides to, which means polyps and medusa. They are predators and they use their tentacles to attack small organisms to paralyze them using nematocysts. Here you can see a picture with named important parts of a coral polyp. Here are the tentacles, here's their stomach, and here's the mouth. Let's move on.
We can categorize corals into two main groups as hard corals and soft corals. Hard corals have exoskeletons made up of calcium carbonate and the soft corals have little amount of calcium carbonate internally. And you can see there are two pictures of soft corals and hard corals. Do you know what are the factors essential for the growth of corals? Here they are. The first one is appropriate temperature. It should be in between 28 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. Neither an environment with a temperature less than this nor higher than this amount is necessary for the growth of corals. Then the second one is salinity. It should be in the normal condition. As the temperature, it also should not be either higher or less than normal condition. Then the last one is sunlight. It also should be there for the growth of corals. That's why we can see corals in shallows. Although there are so many oceans, corals do not grow everywhere. That's because of those factors. Then what would happen if those factors get changed? When those factors get changed, the coral polyp is died. Instant changes in the temperature can also cause death to polyps. Then the corals become lifeless as they aren't growing. When these corals get died, they take a long time to regrow, especially the marine plants.
Then if you talk about the growth rate of these corals, they take over thousands of years to form. Growth is very slow as some corals grow only 15 centimeters per year. Another good example for this is star corals and brain corals. They are large corals that grow up to 1/8 to 3/4 of inch per year. Then the types of corals. There are mainly three types as fringing reefs, barrier reefs, and atoll reefs. Let's talk about fringing reefs. These reefs grow near the coast and seems like a submerged platform. Small coral reefs can be found along the coast in bays and freshwater inlets. Then barrier reefs. It runs parallel to the coast and is separated from the coast by a strip of water. There is a barrier between the sea and the coast. A series of isolated coral reefs may also occur. For example, Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Then atoll reef. An atoll is a circular-shaped island. Atolls are formed when coral reefs grow around the top of a sunken volcano's crater or around submerged mountain peaks. Lagoons are created by these atoll reefs. For example, Maldives.
Let's see what's the importance of this invaluable resource. There are a lot to mention. Here are some of them. It provides habitat for numerous aquatic plants and animals. It's an important environment that provides food for marine life and also a suitable place for breeding of marine organisms. And it prevents coastal erosion. Also, it's an important as water breaker in situations like tsunami. Provides benefits to fishing industry and contributes to lime production. It causes islands to form and it's very important to tourism industry. Then availability of raw materials and chemicals needed to produce medicine for various diseases is another importance.
Now I'm going to talk about the reasons for destruction of these beautiful coral reefs. That happens due to both natural causes as well as human activities. First, I'll talk about natural causes. In conditions such as tsunami as well as climate change and global warming, these corals get damaged and destructed. Then, if I talk about the human activities, using fishing nets to scrape the seabed, exploiting fish and corals due to using dynamite directly affects for this. Also, overexploitation of limestone for building construction and damages occur during anchoring of motorboats also affects this. Then due to raising of petroleum to the sea and clearing of forests. So, now we are going to talk about worldwide expansion of corals. According to scientists, corals had first originated in Philippines and its surrounding.
Then they had gradually spread from shallows to eastern and western oceans. Eastward expansion extends to Australia's western sea or else the Great Barrier Reef. Corals have not spread beyond that because of the depth and the size of the Pacific Ocean. Then the corals spread westwards through Sri Lanka, Maldives, Red Sea, and East Africa to Madagascar. Below that, corals had not spread because of the extreme coldness. The ocean region with the highest biodiversity is the ocean from Madagascar to Australia.
Now, let's talk about world famous coral reefs. There are so many, but I'm going to talk about only four. The first one is Great Barrier Reef. That's the world's largest coral reef system. It's located in the northeastern coast of Australia and it spreads over 1,800 miles. It can also be seen in the space. Then the second one is Belize Barrier Reef. That's the world's second largest coral reef. Extending from the southern Quintana Roo in Mexico, the reef extends down the coast of Belize to Honduras Islands. Then the Red Sea coral reefs. It's well developed in the north and central portions, and this is the deepest reef with higher photosynthetic rate compared to the amount of sunlight they receive. As we discussed earlier, there are three main factors that are essential to the growth of coral reefs. They are appropriate temperature, sunlight, and salinity. But in this coral reef, they do not receive that much of sunlight, but they have a higher photosynthetic rate compared to the amount of sunlight they receive. So, this is kind of a special coral reef. Then the fourth, New Caledonian Barrier Reef. It has designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's about 932 miles long. That's designated as UNESCO World Heritage because there are many endangered species living in this area. So then you can see some pictures of those four barrier reefs. The first one, Great Barrier Reef, then the second, Belize Barrier Reef, then the third, Red Sea Reef, and the fourth, New Caledonia Reef.
Now, how to conserve these reefs? There are various measures that are followed to conserve corals. They are as follows: creating artificial corals, sinking ships that are not using and allow corals to grow on that, enforcing laws against fishing using prohibited equipments and dynamite and quarrying limestone, prohibition of human activities in coral rich areas, etc.
Now let's talk about Sri Lankan coral reefs. We have only fringing reefs in abundance. Atolls and barrier reefs cannot be seen here. Most of these reefs are distributed in southwestern, southern, and eastern coastal areas. There are also well-developed coral reefs in the Gulf of Mannar and deep sea of Kalpitiya Peninsula. Here you can see those places in this map.
There's a great variety among species of plants and animals in Sri Lankan coral reefs. There are about 183 species of corals and about 300 species of fish. It provides habitats for creatures such as lobsters, starfish, squids, etc. Not only lost but also both hard corals and soft corals can also be found in our reefs.
Now, if I talk about the destruction of coral reefs in Sri Lanka, it's so sad to talk about that. They are at a risk of becoming extinct very quickly. Also, the amount of corals that has already died is huge. It's reported that about 40% of the coral reef around Pigeon Island has been destroyed. Not only that, but also it's estimated that 90% of the corals in southern coastal area have been damaged. So, what do you think on this? It's time to make a change.
So, this is the end of today's video, and don't forget to like, comment and share our videos. And thank you for watching. See you soon with another video. Stay safe.